The agony continues for those 12 New York high school girls, all suffering from Tourette's-like symptoms. But now the doctor for most of the group says they believe they have a diagnosis. As Les Trent reports, it apparently is a form of mass hysteria.
This teenager can't stop shaking and jerking, and it's made her life a living hell.
I never have a break from it. It's always there.
With this kind of jerking motion, what part of your body hurts?
My back, my neck, and right now my shoulder.
She got that nasty bruise on the side of her face when she fainted and hit her head.
I hold my arm down. It like stops for a second, and my other arm.
Oh boy.
17-year-old Lydia Parker is now speaking out about the medical mystery that's shocking the nation. She's one of 12 girls from this upstate New York high school who suddenly began suffering uncontrollable body movements that have been compared to Tourette's syndrome. Lydia has been out of school for nearly 3 months and told me her condition came out of nowhere.
I took literally a 5-minute nap on the floor, and I woke up and I was stuttering and I didn't know what was going on, so I woke up my mom, and she thought I was having an aneurysm or a stroke or something.
Now Lydia's mom says she can't be left alone and rarely leaves the house.
It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I've never heard of it in my life, and it shocked me when it happened. 2
of Lydia's friends, Thera Sanchez and Katie Krautwurst, made a dramatic appearance on the Today Show earlier this week. Just moments after the interview, Thera had to be rushed to a hospital. So what could possibly be wrong with 12 seemingly healthy teenage girls? Health officials have ruled out environmental causes and say their high school is safe. Medical tests show they don't have Tourette's syndrome. I spoke to neurologist Dr. Laszlo Metzler of the Dent Neurological Institute in Buffalo, who has examined 11 of the 12 girls.
Let me emphasize, these children are not faking their symptoms. These are real symptoms, but there's no structural abnormality in the brain that we can find.
He says the girls are suffering from mass psychogenic illness, a rare kind of mass hysteria that's a psychological disorder linked to stress and usually found in teenage girls. But Lydia doesn't buy the diagnosis.
I think that's ridiculous. If it was mass hysteria, I left school in October, late October. I haven't seen any of the girls since.
She hopes to start college in the fall, but only if her nightmare comes to an end.
Hopefully it'll stop as fast as it happened.
And the mystery surrounding those high school girls with Tourette's-like symptoms has deepened. More girls have turned up with the same condition, and there does not appear to be any connection to the girls we told you about earlier. Les Trent has the story.
This pretty teenager can't stop her body from twitching.
If you tried not to clap, what would happen?
If I tried not to clap, I would shake a lot. Hey!
Does this look familiar? We've already told you how 12 high school girls from Leroy, New York, suddenly began suffering uncontrollable body movements that have been compared to Tourette's syndrome. Now add 2 new girls. This latest case of girls suffering Tourette's-like symptoms is happening in Corinth, New York, outside of Albany. That's about 250 miles from Leroy, the first cluster. Is it possible there's a connection?
It's very exhausting. My body is just worn down at the end of the day. My voice is worn down. Hey!
17-year-old Lori Brunell can't do something as simple as getting herself a glass of water without a major effort.
Tell me what it's like when you try to control it.
When I try to control it, this pressure builds up in my system, and I get this electrical tingly feeling that just builds and builds and builds.
Lori is an honor student at Corinth Central High School and a star softball player. Her uncontrollable shouts and twitches began at the same time the 12 girls in Leroy were showing similar symptoms last fall.
When I first went to the doctors, they said it was all anxiety. Which I knew that was wrong because I'd never felt anxious before.
Her best friend, Alicia Nicholson, showed me how she sometimes moves uncontrollably. But she says she's not as bad as Lori.
It's kind of weird. It's a weird feeling knowing that this has happened.
11 of the 12 girls in Leroy have now been diagnosed by neurologist Dr. Laszlo Metzler as suffering from mass psychogenic illness, a rare form of mass hysteria. But her parents are skeptical that that's the cause of Lori's medical mystery.
I think that there is something in her veins or her blood or in her system that is creating this.
Give me one reason why I'd want to fake this, because it's overtaking my life right now. Who would want this to overtake their life?
Now to a medical mystery that has gotten a lot of people talking. In Leroy, New York, at least 15 high school students are suffering from a strange illness that causes them to have uncontrollable twitching and verbal outbursts. HLN's Dr. Drew Pensky has been all over the story.
I was in school for a little while after it started, but I ended up leaving the last week of October because I didn't feel I could handle school anymore.
It's hard not being able to do what you love. Even going to school, I love going to school. But it's hard I think it's even harder knowing that I don't know what's going on. Like, I'd like to be able to answer people if they ask me what's happening.